Good morning, grade 3 and 4. This is a little math video, an update on some pattern work. So this is our second week of working through our pattern unit, and I'm going to get into a little bit more detail about what we are working on this week. So now everyone received a booklet, the same page is on the front for both grade 3s and 4s, and the first thing that we're working through is a growing pattern. Now our growing patterns are where the pattern shapes or the pattern itself gets bigger. That's why it's called a growing pattern, because it grows bigger. So in this example, we have the same shape that's repeated and used in every single pattern, but we're adding on to it each time. Now, if I were to ask you this first one here, what would our pattern rule be? Our first step is 1, next is 2, next is 3, and then 4. Our pattern rule would be add 1 block each time, or simply add 1 each time. So there's a couple of sheets in this booklet where you're going to be working with growing patterns. However, a second type of pattern that we're working with is a repeated pattern. That is where we have the same shape or the same group of shapes repeated every single time. So in this one, we have 3 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks, 3 blocks, etc. At the very end, what do you think the next pattern or the next segment in our pattern is? 3 blocks stacked on top of each other. However, in this pattern, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars, and then a triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars and a triangle. So what would our next shape be? We have 1, 2 stars. Next shape would be a 3rd star. So this is a repetition pattern or a repeated pattern where we have the same shape or number or sequence repeated over and over and over again. Another type of pattern that we have in here is a shrinking pattern. So now this could be either numbers or shapes. It doesn't really matter, but what's important with this one is that a pattern rule usually or always will have subtraction. So in this one, it starts with a large number, a slightly smaller number, then smaller, then smaller, and smaller. So our first number is 61, our second is 55, and then 49, and 43, 37. What would our pattern rule for this one be? -6. So we're taking 6 away from each step in our pattern. That is a shrinking pattern where the numbers get smaller or we're actually taking away blocks or sequences each step. My grade 3s, I've crossed this out for you because we're actually not working with tables and charts yet, but my grade 4s, this will look familiar for you. So this is a different way that we can write a pattern. Now this is a table. So in this table, it gives us number of weeks at the top and an amount in dollars for each week. So let's look at this part. This is our first step in our pattern. Week 1, we have $18. Week 2, we have $27. Week 3, we have an unknown number. And week 4, we have 45 numbers. So this is a pattern. It's just represented in a different way using a table. So your job is to figure out what would this missing number be. It gives us 3 other steps in the pattern. Just like up here, we have some information of a pattern, but you have to fill in the missing pieces. Same thing, just looks a little bit different. So grade 3s, we are not working yet with tables and charts, but grade 4s, this is where our patterns are leading us. If you guys have any questions at all about your work this week, feel free to send me an email. Your parents can call me at the school, or they can text me or send me a message through Remind, and I hope everyone has a fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon.